and welcome to the Wednesday of Speedrun Ragnarok 2023. I am your host, Amart, and I will be joined by AlexisGoe, who will be running Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. And yeah, we are very excited to have this run, and I'm excited to check out Xenoblade. So, Alexis, when you are ready, feel free to take it away.
Hello, I'm Alexis, and I'm gonna be doing all Ponspectors today on casual mode. So we'll start with hit new game, 3, 2, 1. And right away we're gonna be hit by a lot of loading in the early game, as we're skipping a whole lot of cutscenes.
That's simple.
Alright, and the really important thing is I'm gonna turn on casual mode. Um, that doubles the damage I do, makes the enemies deal half damage, and it removes agility penalties, which basically if you're too low level, you can't hit stuff, which would normally mean we'd have to grind, but turning on casual mode means we don't have to do that. We're gonna get into our first fight right here. This is gonna be some woofs. We are literally invincible during this fight, so I'll try to go explain how some First, just gonna set up the arcs for later, and this is gonna be how fights are. So we're gonna go into Shadow Eye, and you see the little exclamation points. That means that the move does bonus damage if you did it from like the side or from. And throughout the run, we're gonna play as Shulk, and most of his moves are based on, depending on how you, like, position yourself. So we're gonna try to position ourselves to the side or behind throughout the run. And then I use this move called Shadow Eye, and that lets us reduce our aggro, so I have to use that a bunch. But anyways, we're now into the overworld, and we're gonna be going to a skip travel, but never crossroads. Basically, these are what we can fast travel to later in the game. And a lot of the early game is going to be getting the skip travel points so that we don't have to walk a lot later, because otherwise it takes like a few minutes to get to each location. That one's actually really important. We go there like 4 times in the run, which is one of the most for any places. Coming up should be, there we go, item wards. So yeah, these don't spawn in for some reason until like you play the game for a little bit. It's really weird, but we need to get some of them for requests coming up very soon, because this is all Ponspectors, and we're gonna have to do every Ponspector quest. There's a total of 12 of them, and they wildly vary in terms of like difficulty and time. Like, the first one is coming up right now, right when I get to that gate over there, and also I got pretty good collectible luck. Moro Cobs are something we need for our quest. That's very soon. In fact, it's just beyond that gate. I'm needing 3 of them. The game is actually nice and gives you them no matter what. So it's like, not a big deal if I don't get them. But getting extras lets you save some time. But yeah, here is our first Ponspector. His name is Tentail. His quest is, this can be matching for 40 seconds, as he's going to explain what the Ponspectors are. I'll try to explain that right now. So, we have to go and collect 12 of them. They're all lost throughout, like, beyond the shoulder. doing random things, and we need to gather them all together. In this case, 10-2 just joins after this cutscene. They're kind of like party members. They have their own arts, so they can like kind of help fight. But they're not controllable. Instead, they're gonna later let us do something called Union Strike once we get 3 of them. And that's just explaining like how they help in combat. And we're gonna be doing the next one right after this cutscene. You can see like the little flag. That's Evelyn. This one can be kind of hard sometimes, so hopefully we get good luck. You see those red dots? They're in a good spot. So hopefully they're cooperative. But what happened with her is she dropped her sandwich in the water. And she's not happy because these Swiss Shardies, they ate their sandwich. So we're gonna beat up some fish. So I'm gonna go and pull them.
Let's focus our efforts.
And I'm gonna move that so Mayday she's really short, you can see her over there. And see, if she's in water, she can't.
Let's both behold the power of the Monado.
And she also got babies, so let's get her on. And one more? Yep. Alright, sorry to use it. Next, we're gonna talk to Evelyn, and she's still hungry. So we're gonna get more cobs, but I already got 2 of them. So I'm gonna collect 1 and then go back to the quest. This does save a little time if you get luck, but I'm also still gonna have to walk a bit to get a skip travel point. So we'll do that after Evelyn. Right, and she's gonna also give a hint towards where the other Ponspectors are. But we know, so it's okay. And yeah, one of the things about this game is, if you're in combat, you can't collect item orbs. And if I didn't get good luck with the Moro Cobs, and this enemy sees me, I wouldn't be able to collect the one that would spawn here. I also try to jump whenever an enemy attacks me, because, if you get attacked, you kind of stay still for a little bit. But if you jump, you can kind of interrupt the animation. So anyway, we're gonna go and not be doing many Ponspector quests or story stuff for a while. Instead, we're just gonna be doing a whole lot of walking to get some stuff for later. First, we need the skip travel point, that gate over there. And we're gonna be able to get it just by walking in a straight line. Like, I don't have to go anywhere close to the gate. And then you can see her, she's really far away. Another Ponspector quest named Fora. They're all named like after numbers, which is why they might have some silly names. But yeah, she wants us to go and help us get over across that area. Like you see she's staring across those ribbons, and she wants to get over there. But there's some enemies in the way, so she wants us to fight them. But we're gonna do that later because right now we're a little under-leveled. And I'm also gonna be doing a skip. Kind of a skip. Basically, I'm gonna jump off this cliff. And then I'm gonna land here.
This isn't going well.
And then I'll get my health back. And fall damage in this game is like, so, like, if I just jumped off the whole thing, I would die every time. But with that little ledge that's in between, I can actually survive. And this skips a couple minutes of walking. Alright, it's time for our turtles. I'm gonna jump. Then jump a little bit later. Despite the fact that they're really big and they don't move very fast, for some reason they actually manage to get 2 auto attacks in while you run past them. And hello to Noah. This is another Ponspector. We're not going to be doing them for later, so I'm going to first go up here, get the skip travel point, and then we're going to talk to Noah and get their quest. We're going to be going right to their quest location as soon as we're done this, but we're not going to do the quest, because this one's kind of hard at low level. Now we get to go and walk through the woods, and those owls always aggro you. It's very silly. They have like the largest range. We're gonna get aggroed by quite a few of them as we go through here. Our goal is to get to a quarry, and we want to get some skip travel points for it. So the quarry you can see over there. Then we're actually going to go into the quarry where we're going to go and try to die at the exact time we get a skip travel. Although if I do live for a little bit extra, it's no big deal. In fact, enemies sometimes have a little trouble hitting. So let's see if they can actually be this time. I'm not so good at skip travel. I do this sometimes just to... It's faster than moving, because it's super duper... like fast loads. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump down this I guess it's the route. I'm gonna land near this egg. That way I'm in combat. I don't get back health when I'm in combat. Then I'm gonna let this UM at when I jump. There's a whole bunch of enemies here, so you'd think it'd be, like, pretty easy to take damage, but only these 2 enemies actually affect. And only one of them. This enemy, they're gonna go and shoot me. I'm almost dead. And we're gonna get this, and we're dead. And we got Marga's Weeping. This is gonna be a location we go back to later. You might have noticed a treasure chest, fall. That's because an enemy, they kind of clipped into a wall while we were running, and when they clip into a wall, they just die. That actually helps a little bit because it gets us some extra experience for a later fight, but it's not the biggest difference. So, anyway, we're gonna be doing the story, almost. We're going to first go up through this cave. It's got our ruins, but it's not much here. Instead, it's mostly just the outer side and above it. But before we go to our goal, we're gonna go and do one more Ponspector quest. They're kind of, like, hidden almost. I mean, I guess you can see them on the map, but we're gonna get this skip travel point, and then we're gonna jump off another cliff. Right around here, you can see our Ponspector. They're under attack by 3 antholes, and this is gonna be a surprise quest. Which means you just get the quest when you see them. And when you backslash, it's true. Then when you use on Portal Soul, it gets me extra damage. They're in a bit of weird positions. You want to kind of try to knock them both off, because that does help them. But, happily they moved around just a bit too quickly. You still got killed, though. And we now got Deca. His quest was just to save him from the antholes. And now we're gonna head to Alcove. We're gonna be able to see it. It's that really big city that's in the background. There's a teleporter, and that's gonna get us there. There's some story things. There's something that shot us down sky. That's the ship that we started on. And we're gonna go and investigate, because that's where what the enemy that shot us down is called. So we get to walk across a bunch of bridges. And you can see that, like, structure over there. That's going to be where the teleporter is. And that's going to get us to Alchemy. And then from there, we have a boss fight, but also a Ponspector. This is the only Ponspector that's going to be in Alchemoth. The rest are going to be in the Bionis Shoulder. Alright, so we'll jump here. And now we're going to head to the teleport. Pretty soon. I actually like Alchemoth a lot. Not as much in this game, though. Since it's kind of deserted for story reasons in the main game. Alright. Hello, teleporter. This is like, you barely have to get on it. Like, I went on it way too much. I wasn't even close to the center. And also, one of my favorite skip travels is coming up. We already have main entrance just from getting here. And then when we skip travel to it, it gets us into the cutscene, and the cutscene places us really close. But first, we have to do Dry Express. Dry is one of the really, really convenient ones in that there's nothing to fight at all. This area doesn't spawn in the enemies until a much later story point. And so, I kind of just get to go and walk around and collect orbs with no enemies to fight, and nothing to prevent me from picking them up. We're actually going to do quite a few Ponspector quests where, we just don't fight anything. Which is one of the reasons why the category is not terribly long. Because fights can take a while. And yeah, these are, high Entian feathers. Dry wants to be a high Entian. And, he would like us to collect feathers so he can fly. So once we get all 5 of them, we give him his feathers, and he's very, very happy about it. And also, we're going to unlock Minion Strike, and it's going to be, like, the most important way for fights in this category, but I'm not going to use it right away. Because, Minion Strike is a big bunch of damage whenever I have this gauge in the top left meter fill. But for the upcoming boss fight, they are going to die before I get that meter filled. Most of the time. When I get lucky, I might have it filled. But anyways, here are snow cows. They're a bird, and we're gonna do a bit of a more lengthy fight than usual. I'm gonna auto-attack twice. We'll use the hyper. Then I'm gonna use the side parts. I'm gonna use Stream It just as there. Battle Soul, then one more auto Shadow Line, we'll use that out. Then try to get lower Darkest weapons. Hit them from behind, from the Buster, and then from this point I'm just gonna hit buttons until they're dead. There we go. That was a really nice fight. A lot better than usual. Basically, if you get physical defense down, which is done by Silt Edge, it makes you do way more damage with Buster and Backslash. It says they get from behind. When we were, the reason we fight that boss is we were gonna rescue someone named Helene. Now we're gonna go to the laboratory. And this item orb might be helpful. let's see. Not the item I'm looking for. There is one Ponspector quest where there's an item you need that isn't guaranteed to spawn. And thankfully we have a lot of opportunities to get it throughout the run. So here's the laboratory. And this is gonna send us somewhere else called Grandel. Because we need to have help to fight the Fog King, because after that cutscene, the main villain in this is called the Fog King. We tried to fight them, but they're made of fog and we can't hit them, like, that's why they're named that. So we're gonna have to find a way. They're going over to, you see that tower as I'm slowly falling? That's Grandel. And we can't go here earlier in the story because there's a gate. But we now are gonna be able to go through it. I think it's the last time we fall island. We tend to do that a lot in the run just because it's a lot quicker than most movement. And the gate's over there, but before I do that, I'm gonna pick up a Ponspector quest because this one is kind of out of the way otherwise. It's gonna be at the top of these ruins. Here they are. I also do not want to fall here. Hasn't happened in a while, but we're gonna be walking across some, like, pretty narrow bridges. So I guess, like, a bunch of towers fell, and they made a path for us. And up here is gonna be Set. He's gonna ask us to take out some birds. We're gonna actually do this quest second to last, and, it can be a little hard sometimes. Said birds were around those bridges, but we were walking the outcome off a while back, so we do already have a location close to them. Now we get to jump down here. And I'm looking carefully at these caterpillars, because, if they see me, they open with an art that binds you, which means I'll just stand still for a few seconds. But as long as they are either not close enough to see you, or not close enough to use the art on you, they're no big deal.
Nene feel how much more crazy.
And so now we're gonna actually almost get to Grandel. And from here, we're actually going to do story stuff right away. It's going to be a bit of a mini boss rush, which is how most of the story stuff in this game works. Right. Hello, Caterpillar. This one won't bind me, but, they were kind of in the way. You can also see there's a Ponspector quest pretty close. This is 1-1. He is the leader of the Ponspectors, and you can't do the second part of his quest until you've done all the other ones. So we'll be doing that one next. And we're almost through the next quest objective. What we're going to do is we're going to do some shopping first. Buy a weapon for Nene. And once we do this cutscene, I'm going to do the second and final mission as well. Just upgrade a bunch of arts. And equip some of the stuff we got. Alright, so menu time. We're going to equip Popple, Bus to Melia, and a new weapon to Nene. And then I'm going to upgrade a bunch of arts. Basically, prefer to upgrade the arts that our characters use a lot. The ones with lower cooldowns, or the ones the AI is most likely to use. Like Bolt and Flare are used a lot. Hammer Bead is very short cooldown, and any Elixir starter fights with it. Then these other ones are used a little bit. And now we're gonna go back to Soldier Seal Island and fight some Ponios. Basically, the Fog King's influence is spreading and making enemies like Fog King. You see the little, like, black aura around them. I'm gonna wait till Melia uses Volt, and then I'm gonna switch the party to attack this. Because, they'll go and die on their own. Because, Flare and Ice do, damage over time. So we kinda can leave some enemies alone once they get pretty low in health. And I basically planned all the fights around Melia's Volt usage. A few of them. His Volt does a lot.
We can definitely let's focus our efforts.
There we go. Sometimes in the fights, it's kind of just waiting for the party to use the good arts. Now we get to go back to the Sky Bridge. This is where the Laboratory is, and we're gonna fight, I guess, more of an actual boss in our first Union Strike of the run. So I'm gonna use Silk Edge to lower their physical defense. Dream Edge just because I have to wait for the animation. And this is gonna be a Union Strike. It's a quick time event, and the better I do at it, the more damage I do. Although it also is random, so even though I did perfect, they don't always die like that. That's actually really lucky. And also I have to wait till Gelgar stops talking for the fight to end, so it's actually kind of nice that we have to fight that robot enemy for a little bit. And now we're gonna do some more story stuff that's also gonna be done while we're doing the Ponspector quest. So we're looking for ribbons to find a big crystal. Because if we go and put a big crystal in the sword that Shaw casts, the Monado replica, it will let us attack the Fog King. So that soldier told us to go to this soldier. And then he's gonna tell him that he knows someone that heard a story that might be about where the crystal is. Now we're gonna go back to the Grandel. And we're gonna go this way this time. Prayer Rock. But you can see right now, it's the island in the middle of the lake. And we're gonna do a Ponspector quest here. This is gonna be 2-tip. Basically, he lost his Mira, and he can't leave the water because he has to stare at his reflection. So if we get the Mira, he'll go and join us. Also, we do have an item wall. I'll see if I can get it. It's a little too far to look out. As you can barely see him on screen, but a giant turtle just jumped at me. And if they were to see me, I would not be able to get the Mira. So anyways, we're gonna go and skip travel and head right to 2-tip. The reason this is good to do is, Sarja, the woman that the soldier told us to go and ask about the crystal, is right to the right of 2-tip. So we're going to be able to do both of them in the same time. Hello, 2-tip. So he's going to go and ask us that needs the Mira. And we already have the Mira. We're just going to go and talk to him. And we're also level 65. That's because I had an enemy clip through the wall in the quarry a long time ago. It does help a little bit because, you know, higher level you do, the more damage. But it's not like a really, really big difference maker. Here is Sarja. She may or may not be cooperative. See, I need to talk to her, and ideally, I would like her to not be facing behind, because then she has to turn around. And she also can move a lot, so sometimes talking to her can be pretty difficult. And so she told us to go talk to, this person in Grandel, but instead we can just go to the quarry and skip that. But before we go to the quarry, we're gonna do Phoephora's quest. So we're gonna start the fight, use Stream Edge, and then Heater. This is gonna hit all 3 of them, and put a lead debuff. It's really good because it'll help take out the enemy pretty quickly. Alright, no burst affinity, which is a little unfortunate. But we're good. So now we're gonna do Nanoa's quest. And normally we like to start this with full gauge. But since I didn't get burst affinity, I do not have it. So instead, we're just gonna do the fight So we're gonna use Union Strike as it's quite a few enemies, and one of these enemies, if you get them above HP, they summon more, so it's really good to take them out with Union Strike. And one of the nice things about the route is, we are right where we need to be for the story quest after we do Noah. So this is, the crystal that I was talking about. And now we're gonna turn into Noah and Phoephora. And Noah, is a bit of an odd no-bone. He thinks he's like a god, and his quest was to prove we're worthy, but we actually were just getting his license via Ponspector. Kind of lost it.
I have become stronger.
He's very happy we got his license back. Now we get to do part 1 of Phoephora, which was to take out those enemies. Then part 2 is going to be to meet her on the other side, so I'm going to be going to the ruins where she's looking at. So we're going to go and warp back to Zen's Thoroughfare. We tend to warp there a lot. And now we're going to go to Phoephora. You see there's that arch, we're gonna go up there and then drop down. Here, jump. Then the arch. We're also gonna go right back up here as soon as we're done.
This isn't going well.
Someone need help?
Here's Phoephora. Yeah, finished her quest. And now we're gonna go right back to that beach that we were on. First, I'm gonna run past this frog beast, and it's gonna give us a tutorial. But this is like very slightly faster than going because it's less smooth. Let's get back around here. Now we're gonna head towards some more optional stuff. We're going to be doing a Ponspector quest. This one's going to be Fafa. And we're also going to be getting another quest picked up along the way.
We had some time for announcements?
Yep.
Sure. So I just wanted to say good morning to everyone if you're joining us in the West, and good afternoon and evening if you are in the East. I'm your host, Amart. You're currently watching Speedrun Ragnarok, and we're proud to benefit Take This again this year. Take This helps people in the gaming community suffering from mental illness by letting them know they are not alone in their struggles, and there are treatment options out there to help. If you would like more information, please visit takethis.org and check out all the resources that they do provide.
Yes? What now?
And just wanted to say, you're doing a fantastic job with this run. This is really impressive.
Thanks. And we just got Jessica's quest, although we'll be doing hers in a little bit. Because we're gonna hopefully do for this quest. I need an item called a Sky Mole. There's a lot of chances for it coming up. So hopefully we'll get one. But we get to kind of do Heska's quest along at the same time. The part 1 anyway. The second part we're gonna do a little better. Right. So we're gonna get this skip travel point. That's a really important one because we have to return to Heska twice, and she is quite a bit out of the way. So it's good that we have a skip travel point. You'll notice that most of the Ponspectors are like right next to a skip travel point, and she's kind of the exception. Or it's a very long walk to her. Which we're gonna see right now. I have to go all the way back up here and then down that cliff again in order to talk to her. And we're going to do this twice in the run. Also, it requires quite a few jumps in order to go. I think you can do that one if you move it like, just right, but most of them you have to do jump for. Alright, and there was our Sky Mole, so we have completed part 1 of Fafa's quest. When we get to her. First, we need to turn in part 1 of Heska's quest. Basically, the stake that we just placed was stolen, and now we're gonna go and fight to get it.
This isn't going well.
So there's a fog beast, but they're always in that direction, so they're not gonna see us. Instead, we're gonna skip travel here and walk the Fafa. She's all the way over there. And her first quest is gonna be to find a Sky Mole, which we have just done. Second is going to be to fight this enemy that's going to spawn below her. Alright, and what do we get?
This isn't going well.
Let's see what happens. I'm going to try to click this. So we lower the defense and we shadow we got it. It's going to be a little scary because, that one of those enemies is surrounded by a lot of other enemies. And if I get into a fight, then I'll have to start fighting a bunch of stuff. But fortunately, I got the kill fast enough. There is one that's standing still to the far left. And there's nothing surrounding him. But it's a little bit slower to walk over to them. And now to return to our story for a little bit. So we got the power-up for the Monado, and we're gonna use it, but then there's a bunch of fog beasts that start attacking. So we're gonna fight 2 of the bosses right now. First is gonna be Mammoth. So we're gonna warp to the ramparts.
Let's focus our efforts.
And use Aggro. Then we're gonna use Eater again. Use it early in the fight, it's good because the bleed effect will go longer.
Alright, I'm feeling it. I see you warming up,
Alright, that was a little close. It might have looked like I was just winning the fight, but I actually need to start with full, gauge for this next fight, because we have another boss fight. And there's a little bit of a difference between that and the enemy. You can see there's a little smaller group of antles, so that means there's way more enemies there. But by using Union Strike, just like the start of the fight, I don't actually have to. So we basically use Mammut so we can do this fight with just Union Strike. And now we're gonna get back to Never Crossroads. We're gonna be doing both Heska and Tay-Tay's quests in one. Here's Tay-Tay. He lost his charm in the Necropolis, which is way up here. And what's really convenient is the target we have for Heska's quest, who stole the stake, is right around this area. So we're going to be able to do both of them relatively close to each other. So the Necropolis is like off screen right now, and so it's to the right is Tay-Tay, and to the left is Heska's quest. But first we're gonna get a skip travel point, so that we don't have to do all this movement. And even though we picked up Tay-Tay's quest, we're actually gonna finish Heska's first, just because it's a little faster on movement. Since we get the skip travel, and that brings us really close to the Necropolis, so it's a little faster to warp there second. We also are gonna try to do a quick kill, also another Sky Mole. But there's a lot of luck based in this, like, if that enemy sees me, it might make it a little harder. Looks like we didn't get seen by any. Can still be seen over here. When Shadow Eye, backslash. Amy is going to use Sword Rock. I'm going to use Custer, then he's going to use Hammer Beat, and I'm going to use Street Rage. And that is enough damage to kill the enemy. So a bit of a funny fight, because while I'm waiting for the animations, I kinda just put the controller down. And now, speaking of being sneaky, we're gonna be doing a little bit of that again. We have an item war we want to get, but if we're in combat, hit them. So we don't want to be seen by the enemies. That is Tay-Tay's charm. So now we're going to turn in Tay-Tay and Heska's quest.
What's Tay-Tay do this time?
And we're almost done with all the Ponspectors, actually. There are a total of 2 more quests that we haven't. This guy will be our 10th Ponspector we hit. And as soon as we walk back up here.
Time for a quick donation.
Yep.
Alright, we got a $3.33 donation from Windless saying, "Another day of comfortable runs. Excited to see the Amy block coming up later in the day, as well as the most excellent Super Metroid Ascent." Cat Dragon says, "Take care of yourself, because self-care is important. Also, trans rights." Thank you so much for your donation. And also trans rights.
So we're almost there. And we have one more boss and one more Ponspector for the, like, final boss. Final Ponspector. And we're gonna do both of these once. They're kind of connected to each other. I mentioned a while ago subsets, and we're finally gonna go and do them. And similar to what we did for, like, Mammoth and, Ava's class, where we're fighting enemies to build up gauge, we're gonna be hopefully using these, birds from Septet's quest to build up gauge. And then you can see everything is on fire, and there's a big barrier. That's gonna be where the boss is. So ideally, we're gonna go and build up gauge, and then one-shot the boss with Union Strike. But that may or may not happen, depending on how lucky you are. I was kind of worried. Sometimes when you skip travel, the whole overworld will just despawn enemies. There will be no enemies. I was kind of worried that might have happened, but don't worry, there are enemies. So we're gonna lose aggro, and use the side arms. Dream Edge, Battle Soul, and switch the target to the party is attacking someone. Alright, and that was a really good sunset. Now here is going to be the dinos. So I have full gauge, go to them, and I'm right away going to use it.
Ponspectors, heed my call.
Alright, I did perfect on the Union Strike, but they can still survive this, so we'll see. Apparently, they actually die. There's also a bunch of bad enemies called Bangs, and we often need to take them out, but thankfully the Union Strike hits them if you open with it. Now we're gonna turn in Setset's quest. And now, the only thing left for the run is 1-1, who we can do after we've turned in Setset's quest, and, King, which is the final boss. So, as soon as we're done turning in Setset, we're gonna go back to Grandel and start 1-1 part. You have to talk with him after you find the other 11. So what happened was he had a memo, and he lost it. So our job is to go and take it from who stole it. So we're gonna go back to Never Crossroads for the last time we run. And hopefully quick kill this boss, or I guess quest target. They're kind of, I feel like sometimes they're kind of like bosses, especially this one since they're a bit high level. So we're gonna jump down. When I get into the fall animation, I'm gonna open this up. I'm actually gonna switch to a character. We were playing as Shulk the entire run, but we're gonna play as Nene just for this. This is usually how I prefer to do this fight. So it's gonna be the Cut-Purse Igna. We're gonna see them pretty soon. And I'm gonna go to this spot here, and I'm gonna try to knock them off. So we might have knocked them off, we'll see. Alright, we knocked them. And that kind of skips having to fight them. We're also gonna go and go back to Shaw, because he is much better for the final boss than me. And now we're gonna have, just like when we did, first Ponspector, we're gonna go through a bit of an unskippable cutscene, and they're basically gonna explain that now that they're all together, they know where they're supposed to go. Which is they're gonna be going to the Necropolis to, collect some mushrooms. But, we're not gonna go there. The category, thankfully, only requires you to, collect the Ponspectors. It does not require you to finish their quests. Which is really nice because, their quest involves you fighting a very powerful super boss that we are a little too low level for. So we're heading towards the final boss. They're gonna be in this building. For safety, I'm gonna build up some gauge before we start them, because it could be a little scary if you don't. So I'm gonna go and basically do a little bit throughout the run. Do his eyebrow, then use some arcs to build up gauge. Alright, so we got Burst Affinity, so I no longer have to go and fight. And there's gonna be another teleporter, and this is gonna take us to the bottom thing. And good job they toppled on him, or dazed, Nene. I want to stay in this fight as long as possible. We did end up getting out of the fight a little bit early, but it's alright. So this is gonna have two phases to it, and at the start of the fight, they summon these Fog Knights, and they're really scary, but Union Strike will get rid of them, which is why I like to start this for marathons with full gauge, as it lets me build up gauge for the second phase.
Let's focus our efforts.
So right away, we're gonna try to get full gauge. I'm gonna interrupt my auto attack, because my auto attack, if it gets blocked, we will not be able to get those two Speeders off. And also, you might know that I did very bad on Union Strike, because I'm not holding the controller during this, as I like to spend as much time as I can to build things up.
I see you warming up, Nene.
What you see? And we are now. I thankfully got Burst Affinity, so we already have it. At this point, we're just trying to take it all out of the way. And then for phase 2, we're going to start right with Union Strike. And time is when this boss happens.
Let's focus our efforts.
So it will be a little bit after the Union Strike, as even if I do a perfect one, I will not be able to get it. Alright, and this is gonna take out the Knights of Satan, so it's really scary. They're all dead now. You're gonna lose time ground. And pop one more. Almost dead. Time is whenever they're. Will they get Mystics? We will see. Alright, and that is time.
No use. It keep happening. What are we supposed to do now?
Alrighty.
Don't give up.
Yeah,
No matter
thankfully
how many
the
times it hurts,
safe
we can
stuff
bring
for
it
the
down
fight
just the
makes
same.
it a lot more
Our future
consistent.
must be kept safe.
So thanks for
What?
having me. Glad that the run went
Telethia?
well.
Why?
If anyone's interested, this game has
What?
like this and then any percent,
What am I on
which is like 30 something minutes, so it's a lot of short runs for people who might want to play Xenoblade games. Usually they're
Earlier,
quite a few
for
hours
whatever
long.
reason, those explosions seem to be distorting and destabilizing the rift.
Incredible.
And then
They saved us.
is there anywhere we can find you? Is it just Twitch or?
Yeah, I
Fine.
usually
Time
stream
to finish this.
Twitch as
Please, buy me
AlexisGoe
some time.
and I have another one for Ragnarok actually a little bit later this week, a different game. So I will be there as well.
Awesome. I'm cool. Yeah, I see that. Valkyria Cross is very cool.
Grant me your strength, friends.